I'm really interested in what you're doing with Redwater.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
Also, very intrigued with some of your thoughts on the current events overseas. And I know you've got some passion around that. So, and I mean, we're talking born in the UAE, came to Houston, went to University of Houston, Victoria, law enforcement officer, child abuse investigator. You worked for ICE,
Yep.
intern for the Army, 5
Yes.
deployments,
Yes.
bodyguard, intel officer,
Uh,
detection agent. Now you're executive and business owner. You co-host a podcast.
I'm trying, dude. I'll tell you what. I'm 33 though, and my body hurts every day, dude. But I love it. I'd never change anything. It's been a great experience so far, and I'm looking forward to what's yet to come. You know what I mean? I think we should always strive to be the best version of ourselves, and that's just how I've always been a go-getter. And I don't know, man. Just seeing where life goes right now. You know what I mean? With Redwater and everything. And honestly, I thought it was just a vision a couple of years ago, and last year I turned it into reality, and now we're getting bigger and bigger, and we're even getting presidential candidates calling us. Like I'm in disbelief sometimes when I pick up my phone. I never know who could be calling. I've had like people like Dana White call me, and Andrew Yang, and DeSantis's people have called me. It's pretty cool, dude. Just to know that all the hard work I put in and me trying to do good things to help veterans out, it is coming along good, and word's getting out, and people appreciate that. People see the difference, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. One of your podcasts, you mentioned that you've never had a job where you weren't armed.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
this kind of Joey looking at his life like, man, my arthritis is kicking in and I'm tired of carrying, you
Yeah.
know?
Honestly, right now, I do have a full-time job besides running, Redwater. I am a contracted intel officer for Homeland Security. And the majority of my job, I'd say 70 to 80% of it, is actually sitting behind a desk, conducting investigations, doing surveillance, stuff like that. Other 30 to 40%, is out in the field, interviewing subjects, people of interest and stuff. I like it, especially I think for right now. I think it's like the perfect combination of where I need to be. I've been going high speed for so long. It eventually gets to you, you get tired, So right now, I'm letting my guys do all the high speed stuff, just hanging out back there and letting them do all the cool stuff, But it's good to see my guys enjoying it. Uh, Almost every week, we're sending people somewhere around the world, dude. And I love that I'm helping veterans, I'm helping put some money, in their pockets, feed their families. And I think that's what it's all about. I feel like the security industry has lost its way over the recent years. It's turned from like actually caring about the safety of people to turning into more into a business mindset where people just care about money. And I see a lot of veterans getting taken advantage of, and I think that's no way to treat people who served this country. Coming back and underpaying them and making them work so hard while others profit. It's not the business model that we enforce at Redwater. We're all about helping people, dude. And I believe in the end, my opinion is you treat people good, good people will treat you, and that's just how life goes, I think. I'm a big believer in that.
Where do
So
you think that shift happened? Was it back in the Blackwater triple canopy days
that's
overseas, like
out.
blank check Cheney days?
Yeah, so I was a terp. I started as a terp in the army. I got in a little bit of trouble. I did get a general discharge under honorable conditions, and that's when I went into contracting. I went into contracting very young at 19 because the war in Iraq was still going and they needed interpreters. So I got to hang around with a lot of the Blackwater guys, the special forces guys. I was the youngest interpreter, and I was fluent in both English and Arabic. I was used by almost every agency you can think of, including OGA, just because my English was just as good as Arabic. Most Terps didn't have perfect English like I did. Most of them had broken English. So I was always like the go-to guy. And because I was a citizen at that point. I had got my citizenship after I joined the Army in 2009, and I had my clearance too from DoD. So it all went hand in hand, and I think I started really seeing it. Yeah, like I said, at a young age. I would say like my second or third contract. I won't name the groups I was contracting with, but I started seeing it with like various companies that are some of the biggest now in the world, like Momentum, Triple Canopy, and stuff. I started seeing the route that they were taking. Blackwater, Eric Prince was taking care of his guys. He was paying them a lot of money to do what they were doing. That's why I modeled actually Redwater after Blackwater, because I looked up to Eric and his guys, especially during like their golden years where they were venturing into countries where no one else had the cojones to go in there and do the work that they were doing. Yeah, they did a couple of wrong things, but people tend to focus on the negative things, and everyone completely forgot what Blackwater has done for this country and all the people they've kept safe. And I think it's just human nature. We tend to focus on negative things. However, I focus on the positive things that Eric did, and I modeled Redwater after it, and I think we're doing good so far. I don't want it to grow really big like Blackwater did, because I think that was one of the problems is it grew too fast and too much money came in. And when too much money comes in that fast, problems happen. And that's with any business, not just private military contracting. And right now I'm keeping it small. Like to keep things, under control, everything in order, and slowly make it grow, just see where it goes. We're not in a rush to make millions, but we're trying to do as much good as possible, no matter what
Sure.
time it takes, I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm a strong believer in destiny and fate. So we leave it up to God to guide us and take us where He needs us. That's what we all believe in.
Yeah. What's it like stepping into more of that mentor role, kind of on the sidelines and supporting the
And
guys on that front line?
it's honestly pretty cool, and I never thought I'd be someone that the guys I looked up to would end up looking up to me. I think it's crazy how the roles have reversed, but I learned all from them. All the old OGs from Blackwater and GRS guys. Most of the guys I served with are the older generation. I don't know many of the younger dudes, but most of the older guys, they know me. They know who I am, and uh, I like the I don't know how to say it. I like the old way of thinking, the old school way of thinking. I think now with the way everything is in the military and just how everything is completely people have lost their way, especially in the defense industry and in the military complex. Just wokeism has changed everything, man. And at Redwater we like to keep the old ideas still. They always say reject modern day and embrace tradition. I'm big on that. We can never forget where we came from. We can't just change just to follow the pack and keep everyone comfortable. That's not what life is about. Some of the most
Yeah.
uncomfortable moments in my life have taught me the biggest lessons and propelled me to exceed anyone's expectations, honestly. And I'm a big believer in that. If you're comfortable, you're not doing good enough. I always tell my guys that if you're uncomfortable, you're doing good, dude. You're doing good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just I don't know the way I
Absolutely.
look at things. But yeah, man. I mean,
Challenge is growth.
yeah, a hundred
Challenge
percent,
is
dude.
growth.
100%. I truly believe in that. 100%, man. And now I'm watching, the fruits of my labor come into play, and I'm enjoying every bit of it, man. Just to see my guys be happy, and when they come back, be like, we made enough money to do this or do that or get this project done. It makes me happy, dude. Or to be able to take, their kids to something as small as like Disney World, like, hey, we went a 1 week vacation. It just makes me happy, dude, that I'm able to help out with something like that, no matter how big or small. Life's too short, man, and I think everyone that's served should be able to enjoy it.
Well, so what separates those guys and yourself from some of the people that you put on blast online? because I love watching your showdowns, man. They're fun. But what prompted it? Is there a
So,
particular kind of suit that you have in mind when you
so honestly,
just lay
dude,
one out there?
people think that like I'm picking on others, and it's not me picking on others. I just get enough of seeing people's fake bullshit being posted online, and I've been seeing it more and more happen lately, especially after COVID. It's like everyone just started wearing a fucking mask and they never took it off. If it makes sense, that's what I've noticed with most people. Uh, I don't know, man. I get tired of it, and believe it or not, people might see me like as being negative. I'm just trying to be a realist. And I have a huge support system. A lot of people won't comment because they're in high places in the government or high places in the CIA. But I get privately messaged almost daily by people like that who tell me keep doing what you're doing. You know, we can't comment publicly, but we love what you're saying, what you're doing. We need more people like you. And just like people like that I look up to, and especially that I'm a nobody. I consider myself a nobody. If I got a guy that's a director, of a branch in the CIA sending me a message, taking time to send me a message like that, it tells me that I'm doing something right, in my opinion, especially for guys like that, or like old school GRS guys telling me, yeah, you're a dying breed. All the other young bucks like you aren't giving a shit about what's happening with this country. They're just chasing dollar signs, and I think that's where a lot of young guys getting out of the military right now, getting this guy that they're all about chasing that money, man, and they're chasing it the wrong way, and they're getting taken advantage of. And I think people need to slow down and remember the why, that everyone preaches about. A lot of people forget it, dude. A lot of people forget it. And we need to go back to that. We need to start remembering why. Why did we enlist to begin with? Was it for money? I don't think a lot of people enlisted for money. I think people wanted to serve a greater purpose, and we forgot that along the way. So I'm trying to bring that back, man. And we follow a lot of those, not rules, but I want to say culture, that military old school culture with Redwater. We all help one another out. We consider ourselves a brotherhood. We're not a security company. We're a sourcing agency. A lot of people think we're a security company, but the way it works is I source my guys to security companies that have clients. So my guys are vetted, they're high speed, all that good stuff. And instead of them having to go through 100 applications, they come straight to me, especially for last minute tasks. That's where we specialize in. Like, Trump is coming into Houston for a week. Hey, we need some guys. And I just send them my guys, and we go to a security company, and a lot of them are now reaching out to us more and more. We're getting our name out there. They're seeing what we're all about, especially when presidents are snapping photos with us. We don't post a lot of that stuff because I feel like we're gonna let our work speak for itself. I feel like a lot of guys that post photos with this person and that person, or brag about where they're doing or what they're doing. I think it's tacky, in my opinion. If you see us on the news, then you see us on the news. And that's happened actually in New York when Trump was facing trial. One of my main guys from Redwater happened to be with him, with Trump, on the news, on every single news channel. And we never announced it that we were guarding Trump or any of that stuff. Everyone started messaging me, and I'm like, I'm a strong believer in letting our work speak for itself. So
You know
that's what I
the
follow, man.
the theme here that I get out of this is it's it's all got kind of identity as the interconnected theme here. You talk about I'm a nobody, but bro, you got the receipts. You're definitely a somebody. But you also mentioned about that masked culture. I noticed it too coming out of COVID, that some people just never took that mask off, both
Yeah,
physically and metaphorically. And
yeah,
that touches into some of this the wokeism as well. You can kind of you can see it coming down the street a mile away sometimes because of that mask. Physically wearing
yeah,
that mask, still kind of hoping that it shields whatever that kind of behavior that's being exhibited is. It kind of protects them,
yeah, yeah,
and keeps that wall and keeps that distance. And so, you know, the identity of oneself, that also feeds into one of the messages that I think I wanted to cover with you, with some of your social presence and the recent events overseas over in Israel. You know, you definitely take a different political stance than I see most of the mainstream media and most of the commenters online when it comes to, you know, expressing your views on this, and in particular, you know, where you came from. You know,
Yes.
so what is that? What is Joey's take on what's happening based on where you came from, what you know, what you've seen personally, and where it seems most of society is being kind of um, driven uh, from the perspective of what mask they should wear on this topic.
Exactly. And you just brought a good point. They're driven. They're not self-driven. They're driven by other forces. And I blame the media, especially, mainly, specifically the media. Just with like Ukraine, they show you one side. They don't show you two sides. I've seen both sides. I grew up in the Middle East. I'm not sympathetic with terrorism or Hamas or any of that. People think, oh, okay, he's supporting Palestinians and he's supporting the terrorists. No, that's not what I'm fucking saying. I'm probably one of the most people that out there that hate Hamas because they brought so much terror to my people and my country, and they started this whole thing. To be honest, they started this whole thing, and you know, there's other mitigating factors like Iran and all these other countries who are funding them. But what I'm saying is, just because you support one side doesn't mean that you're completely against the other side. My great grandma was Jewish. I have Christians in my family from my mom's side. I grew up Muslim. I don't practice Islam. I go to my buddy's Baptist church every Sunday. It's just that society decides to, and chooses to judge what they see. Oh, he was born over there. You know, we don't care that he's tattooed or he served. He's still one of them. No, dude, it's that's not how life works. That's not. You have to be open to everything. I think, in my opinion, that's why I chose the path that I chose. Even though I went to the same schools as most of those guys, like I made a post one time. You know, I played with those guys when I was young in Lebanon, in the border of Israel. We celebrated together Ramadan and Eid. We ate the same food. So how is it that they became bad guys and I became a good guy? And honestly, people like to blame it on the environment, but I think it's all about personal choices, man. It really is. In the end, you can the choices you make will affect your entire future. And some people choose to just believe a certain way, and they're not willing to be open, which is why I'm always big about being open. You have to see both sides of everything, and I think a lot of what you were saying is, you know, people are driven by seeing one side is because of media. They just want to be naive. That's what I blame it mostly on. People want to be naive and not see both sides and just follow the pack. You know, oh, the rest of the world supporting Israel, so let's jump on that bandwagon. Just like Russia and Ukraine. Well, fuck the Russian kids getting killed, right? We only want to care about the Ukrainian ones. No, dude, that's a wrong way of thinking. Both sides are getting hurt. Just because one side has a terrorist organization doesn't make the rest of the people from that country bad. It doesn't work that way, you know. You could say that Israeli settlers are terrorists because there's bad guys in Israel. I'm not talking about IDF. I'm talking about the settlers that come in with ARs and plate carriers, storm into people's houses and take them over. And this happens all over Palestine. And no one interferes, no one stops them, and we don't hear them being called terrorists. Why? It's because it doesn't fit the narrative, you know. It just doesn't, and the news doesn't want that. No, you know, Israel good, Palestine bad. That's it. But I blame media. That's the main problem, honestly, man. I blame media. But I'm seeing now there's more and more Americans waking up to it. I'm serious. I
Okay.
get messages by a lot of people now that say, you know, in the beginning we used to question what you would say, but we started looking into things that you would say, and a lot of the things I post, I would say nearly all of it has truth to it. I'm not gonna post a lie or bullshit. Most of the stuff I post is either from real life experience or it's backed by facts. I don't get my shit from the news. I'm sorry. I'm not like everyone else. I have people that are there, boots on the ground. That's where I get most of my information from. Or I actually do my own research, which people are too fucking lazy. They don't want to do. That's another problem. They don't want to do their own research. They want to pop Fox News or CNN and get their information from there. And it's all garbage, dude. I see it every day. It's all garbage.
So do you think people are waking up to this specific um, Israeli-Palestinian issue, or are they waking up to the bigger picture of the media is the issue?
I
Is that
think
what
they're
you're-
waking up to the bigger picture of the media. It
Yeah.
started with Ukraine. Some Americans started questioning things. Like, why are we there? Why is Biden sending millions and billions and there's homeless vets? People started questioning shit. That's what you want. You want people to question shit. We've been lied to for so many years. A lot of people have been programmed to not question anything and just follow everything. And that's the easiest way to control people. And COVID was a big thing, man. I don't want to get too into it because the powers that be don't like me talking about that kind of stuff. But it didn't all start with there, but that propelled it even further without people even knowing it. It's
Well, I think
psyops. It's my specialty, brother, and that's all it was. It was a one giant big fucking psyop, dude. And
how quickly did it take you to figure that out?
almost before it even happened, I knew it was going to happen. Where they were talking about locking people down in houses and putting masks on, I was like,
Yep.
that reminds me of Gitmo. We locked them down, black bagged them, and told them they were never getting out of there. Fear,
You
dude.
did all the time at Gitmo, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
On this side, on the good side.
Yes, on the good side. Yeah. And it reminded me of that, dude. As fucked up as it sounds. Of course, there was no physical torture, but the mental prison was there. And that's all you need to make people believe that they're in prison and you have complete control over them.
Yeah.
Of course, to a regular person, they'll never see that, But people like me, others who read, do research, study history, they're aware, dude. And right now, we're getting more and more people who are aware of what the fuck is going on. That's what I believe. More and more people are waking up and starting to question shit. And, with Israel and Palestine, hey, what's up, brother?
I do not believe in coincidences.
No, as soon as I mentioned it, my phone stopped functioning. But that's a warning sign from the boys. Hey, quit mentioning that shit. So let's change the subject. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
My phone completely just like lost. My Wi-Fi stopped working. My GPS stopped working. Everything. Yeah. So all right,
Yep.
we'll change the subject. But I think everyone got the point of what I was trying to say. The point went across.
I think it just kind of proves that point.
Yeah,
Here we are.
It does. Yeah.
So
But,
where do you go now? How about them Cowboys, right? I mean, where do you go from here? We just talked about the thing that gets you shut down, and we got shut down.
You
So
want
here
to
it
know
is.
something funny? Everyone's always like, how do you work for the federal government and do all that you do, and they don't get pissed about your posts? Well, I'm not a full-time employee, right? There's a difference between a contractor and a full-time employee. Obviously, if I was a full-time federal agent, they're held accountable for every single peep they make, And as a contractor, the rules are completely different. And that's why I like being a contractor. I can say whatever I want. I'm a private citizen, and there's no clause as I can't go on social media and say whatever I want. Of course, as long as it's within legal limits, I can voice my opinions. But yeah, for those that always ask, how do you say all this shit online? And believe it or not, a lot of those guys in the federal government love the shit that I post. I mean, I'm not talking about the liberal side. There's a 50% that's conservative, and they agree with everything I say, and they love what I'm posting. And like I said before, they tell me that this country needs more guys like me to put the truth out there. Especially right now more than ever, we're very divided, and a lot of shit's happening. Especially with the border being open. That's another topic we can talk about freely. We can talk about the border if you want. It's a fucking shit show, dude. I'll be honest with you. It's pretty, yeah, but many times, and it's getting worse and worse. And most of the guys that I deal with on a daily basis, they're all coming through the border. And I'm not talking about just Mexican cartels. I'm talking about members of all different kinds of gangs and groups, and even CCP people, Chinese Communist Party. They're coming, getting caught here in Houston. Terrorists from every country in the world you can think of: Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, even Africa. We're getting Al Shabaab militants from Somalia here through the fucking border. I never thought I'd see that in a million years, dude. Russian spies getting caught. We even have Canadian intelligence getting caught coming here illegally. It's insane, dude. It's a free for all. And I don't know what or how they're going to fucking, deal with this, because I think it's like we're far too late now at this point of dealing with it. What we're going to have to do at this point, I think, is minimize the problem and control it. You're not going to be able to stop it. We've been infiltrated so bad, especially here in Texas, man. Like, I think Texas is one of the most dangerous states now. I'm not talking about gang wise, but just like as far as the people that are here. And it's only a matter of time before something happens. But that's just my opinion,
Well,
with
what
everything that I'm seeing.
surprised me, I was a bit surprised by some of the feeds I've seen where they'll interview these people coming over, and my original assumption was, oh, okay, these people simply want to get across the border and that's it, and they just think they're going to walk into a job or something, no true destination, just kind of, you know, you just have to get to American mentality. But what I'm seeing as they pull people to the side and interview them, they have destinations. I'm going to
Yeah.
Chicago. I'm
Yes.
going to
Yes.
Detroit. I'm going to Dallas.
Yes.
And they all seem, you'll have a group of guys like fighting age men come over together,
Yeah.
and they're all going to Chicago, and they're all kind of in that clique. Where are they going? To the sponsor? Who's the sponsor?
Well,
Right?
yeah, it's a great point, and we've actually been uncovering. And by we, I'm not talking about the FBI because they take credit for everything that Homeland Security does. We've been uncovering NGOs, non-government organizations that are money laundering operations for the cartel, CCPs, the enemy of the United States. They found a loophole by funding, because it's really hard to track money when it comes to nonprofit organizations. And these people are giving them 5, 10 grand, 20 grand as soon as they come through the border, housing, all that shit. And they're doing either surveillance, human trafficking, drug trafficking, you name it, dude, all kinds of shit. And it's been so expanded and organized. It's all over the United States. Most of those sponsors, I want to say 89% of them are affiliated with criminal organizations. It's bad, dude. No one's even no one's vetting these sponsors. That's fucked up about the whole thing. No one's vetting them. And if you try to vet them, oh well, it's discrimination, it's racism, fuck security, fuck keeping people safe. No, we're all about not hurting anyone's feelings and not trying to be discriminating against people. But man, that's the whole point of Homeland Security and Border Patrol, and having a border to begin with, is to keep the country safe. But it's all gone out through the window ever since Biden took over. I mean, when I was contracting for ICE under Trump, we were killing it, dude. We were in Vegas deporting thousands of people, and I'm not talking about innocent people. I'm talking about cartel members, gang members, human traffickers, all kinds of stuff. They're all coming out to Vegas. It's big business over there. It's a tourist city. They like to pick cities like that, especially cities like Houston, because there's so many people, there's so much going on, lots of hotels, lots of casinos. And we were putting in fucking work, dude, under Trump. As soon as Biden took over, everything is gone to shit.
What do you think's coming next year?
Sir, ma'am. I think it's fucking ridiculous, in my opinion.
What do you think's coming next year with the elections?
Man, I don't know if Trump's going to get it, man. Honestly, a lot of people say that he is, but I think it's going to be DeSantis. That's who I think is going to be the next president. And I like him. I've met both Trump and DeSantis. I like both of them, but I think I want to see DeSantis give it a shot, man. I'm a big believer in him and what he preaches and what he says. And I think he's going to take care of business and clean house, man. It's going to take a younger version of Trump. And I know Ron is. I mean, I don't know. I think he's like in his 40s or something. I want to say maybe early 50s. But the dude has cojones. Trump has cojones too, but I think we need a different type of cojones this time around. If it makes sense. I mean, the motherfucker is the only governor, with all due respect, Ron, if you ever watch this, to ever stand up to the feds, dude. When COVID was going on, he was the only governor of any state besides Texas uh, to stand up to to the feds and Biden. Now, as far as Governor Abbott, I used to be a fan, but after Operation Lone Star and me personally working on it and seeing some things that I didn't agree with, it's all horseshit in my opinion, dude. He's another one. He used to be one of the good guys, but I can tell you right now, he's getting paid too, dude. He is. They're not. He's the governor of Texas, and they're allowing all these people to come through. He can stop them easily. They can go to other states. He's allowing them to come through because someone's getting paid. And I'm not talking about just him. His cabinet, from the top all the way down, everyone's getting fucking paid, dude. Everyone's getting paid, which makes me think that everyone affiliated with this is somehow affiliated to the cartel. Of course, there's middlemen and all that shit, but all the money's coming from down south, brother. It's all coming from down there. It's not American money. It's dirty cartel money. Everyone's getting fucking paid. It's big business right now. Those fuckers are taking over. I'm more scared of the cartel than any other terrorist organization out there, me personally. And I've been in the Middle East and have grown up there. And I've operated in Mexico, and Mexico is a completely different game, man. It really is. I'd say the last time I operated was the first 5 months of this year before I got this current job, and I was down in Guadalajara. And man, I'll tell you what, there were some instances where I didn't think I was going to make it out of there alive. Uh, they don't fucking care who you are, where you are, what agency you're with, or what you're doing. If they don't want you, they kill you. They don't give a shit.
The firepower these guys have is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's insane, man. And they're very well organized. They have their own section that's intel. They have intel officers just like DHS does and FBI does. The cartel have their own intel fucking section. Drone operators, special operators who train. And unfortunately, we have some of our own American Delta operators training those fuckers for money down there, man. And recently, I'd say especially during COVID, that's when it really started. But as of late, there's been a lot of special operating veterans from the U.S. side going down there as advisors, and they're training the bad guys. And I think it just shows you how money can change people, especially for like hard hitters like that were all about protecting the country, and now they're teaching the bad guys how to kill innocent people. I mean, it just makes you think, man, like, fuck. Money can sometimes really change people. You know what I mean? It's scary. When someone has enough money, is it known? Yeah, most of those people are on FBI watch lists and they can't come back stateside. But I guess they're fine with it. I mean, I wouldn't personally never do it. And Redwater has been contacted off the record by all kinds of different organizations, including the enemies. And we've never even given it a second thought. We report everything directly back to the FBI. We want to be on the good side of the government, and we're all about legal action. But some of those guys are they're loners, they're not affiliated with any companies or agencies. And, the cartel fucking offer them a lot of money, and they offer them houses and cars and bikes. And, you got some soft guy just living in a 1-bedroom apartment, divorced, with an alcohol problem and no purpose to live. Of course he's going to say, fuck yeah, let's go, and they know how to get those guys. They're very smart. The cartel is not fucking stupid. They didn't become the richest criminal organization in the world by being dumb. I can tell you that.
Well, and I don't think a lot of people realize that they're operating on this side of the border.
Yes.
Day in and day out.
Yeah.
They're not just in their little shoebox down in Mexico somewhere.
No, man.
They're
actually buying a lot of property up here in North Houston, from the Woodlands all the way up to Huntsville, dude. Buying lots of land, buying big houses, all cash. And law enforcement is aware, but there's nothing they can do about it because when you have cash in this country, I've noticed this. No one questions anything, man. Now if you're not paying taxes, that's a different story. If you're an average American not paying taxes, oh my God, the fucking IRS is coming to get you. But if you're a cartel organization, you got a couple of million to spend for as an investment, no one fucking says anything, and it's pretty fucked up in my opinion. And it just shows you how the world is changing. It really is, dude. And it's very scary. It's very scary, And me and my Redwater guys are always worried every day about the future of this country. That's what we're really worried about, And we trade every day for a better tomorrow, man. I always say, first, you always got to put your faith in God. You can have as much firepower as you want, all that cool shit, and be the cool guy on LinkedIn posting pictures. And guess what? When those motherfuckers come, cartel, if God's not behind you, no one's going to be able to stop them. Because I've seen firsthand what they can do down in Mexico, and they're not people to fuck with. They're very, very scary people, well organized, well funded, and I think it's the biggest threat to the United States. We shouldn't be worried, in my opinion, about Hamas and Israel and Ukraine and Russia. We need to be fucking worried about these motherfuckers crossing through and buying up, being our neighbors. Little Johnny and Sally are playing in their backyard, and the next door fucking neighbor is a cartel group. It's insane, man. I see it here in my own neighborhood. And they know who I am. They see me every morning with my badge and my handcuffs and my radio. And they mind their own fucking business. They're smart. I'll give them that. They don't attract heat. They don't bring attention to themselves. They're very smart. But it's those smart guys are the most dangerous ones. They're the most dangerous ones.
They play the role of the good American. No one is none the wiser.
Yep.
It's interesting that here in Austin we've got a big presence of the Army Futures Command, and there are these defense acquisition groups, AFWorks and Army Apps Lab and VIU and all of these groups that are focused on the pacing threat, which is always perceived as overseas. And the innovation that's being exhibited in Ukraine, for example, with taking off the shelf drone products and using that to take out multi-million-dollar worth of equipment, but I have not heard one single word, having been with this community for a while now, not one word discussing the southern border and the true threat. There's a lot of focus at the DoD level with the Indo-PACOM and what's China doing, and now here comes this Israel-Palestine thing. But you think about that southern border. I mean, how many people come across a day? And they're not all women and children, and they're not all seeking asylum. You can't seek asylum from a country just because it's poor. So where's the focus, and why is it that we're conspiracy theorists when we talk about this thing? Because it's very real.
No, it's 100% real, and everything is being controlled now more than ever, especially with this administration. And just the fact that you mentioned that, I mean, you're already one step ahead. You're questioning things, which is a good sign, and that's what I want more people in this country to think about. Why are we constantly worried about overseas when we have a major problem right here in our country and no one's focused on it? Crime's increasing, homelessness is increasing, drugs, trafficking, and people dying, young people dying more than ever because of fentanyl, and no one's fucking batting an eye, dude. It's sad. We've really lost our way, man. We really have. We lost our way in this country. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that with the next election, whoever it is going to be a strong leader to bring us back together to how we were before COVID. Under Trump, this country, I think, was doing really well. We needed a president like him, where we're coming together. We're being true American patriots, looking out for one another, and the whole system ever since, he left has been back to dividing and conquering. And They've been really successful at it. Right? I still have faith in the people of this country. I do. There's still people out there like me and you who are patriots and won't forget any of this happening. It's only a matter of time, brother. But right now, all I can say to everyone out there is just be ready. I know we've been saying be ready, get ready, and all that stuff for years now. But now you definitely have to be ready because if you're not ready, it's already too late. They're here. I can tell you that. We're catching them left and right. And they're lawyers and doctors and engineers, dude. They're working directly for the cartel here in Texas. It's insane. They're recruiting
So,
professionals.
what can people do to become more aware of that gray man that is the cartel that's embedded in America, right? So, what are there any things they can look out for? Little signs, little behaviors.
I mean,
Uh,
honestly, it's become so blatant out in the open, especially like just step outside your door and look at your neighbors. I'm sure most people's neighborhoods have changed now, especially after COVID. And I'm not trying to be racist, but there's definitely more minorities and there's definitely more Latinos. And most of those Latinos definitely immigrated to the border. And it makes you question things. How are they getting money to buy houses? How are they getting money to buy new cars? Things like that. You start looking at those things and you put two and two together. And there's your answer, dude. And just because they're families, don't think that they're innocent. I got to tell people that. They're very, very well calculating. They hire an entire family with their little Johnny and Jose or whatever. Perfect families. Meanwhile, they're laundering money. They do that a lot. They use families to launder money. And then, of course, the foot soldiers like MS-13, Tango Blast. Those are the two most prevalent ones here in Texas. Those guys run the drugs, the human trafficking, and all that stuff. But I would say just be more alert and watch your surroundings. Watch who's living near you. Watch who's moving into your neighborhood. Report things. Even though, a lot of people say the FBI won't do shit. Trust me, when shit hits the fan, they have to. Just do your part, report it, and be prepared. Take classes, go out and train. The only way to beat the enemy is to be stronger than them. And I'm a strong believer in that. And we're going to take it to them, brother. Redwater's not fucking scared. They come here, they start a fucking war. We're going to help the government. We're going to help the feds. We're going to help whoever needs help, dude. We're here and we're growing and we're getting bigger, dude. So that's
so
what I'm going to say.
how can someone get in touch with Redwater if they either want to join the team or they need protection from the team?
So we have our website. That's where I usually send most people to, redwaterinternational.com. And there's a contact box. You submit, you can either submit anonymously or however you want to submit it. And it comes directly to our email that we use. And someone, usually me or one of my 6 admins, will respond. I have a whole admin team too. And they're all former OJA, Green Berets, SWAT guys. I'm really blessed to have the team that I have, dude. And we all came from nothing and became somebody's, and I think that's what brought us all together. I think, as crazy as that sounds, I think God brought us together. And I really, truly believe in that, man. Sometimes God brings people together to serve a higher purpose. And I think Redwater is one of those things where, it sort of just happened and it was like magic, we all became a family. And even though we live all over the country, and we still stay in touch. We talk like on a weekly basis, all of us. And I think we need more people like us out there. It doesn't just stop at Redwater. It starts with every other civilian out there, every other veteran getting out. Follow us. You know, join our cause. Become like us. We need to come together, man. I think if we all come together, we can defeat the monster. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
Well, I know your boys are showing up here in a minute, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
look like we're getting shut down in the meantime, but do you have any parting words for the crowd?
Oh man, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there. I made LinkedIn, and I never thought it would grow so fast, especially with all the followers now and people messaging me and stuff. And it means a lot to me that people reach out from like all over the world, not just here in the U.S., and encourage me and support me and believe in what I'm trying to do. And I want to give a shout out to you too, brother. Thank you for having me on your podcast. It means a lot. I always love, jumping on platforms and uh, telling people what we're all about, and just you know, uh, giving some people hope. I think a lot of people have lost hope after COVID, and we need to all encourage one another. And like I said, I'm never putting anyone down. I'm just being a realist. I want people to be real. That's all that it comes down to at the end. Uh, but yeah, man, just be vigilant, train harder, and stay ready. That's those are my parting words, man. Stay ready. Learn, learn and train. For sure,
Awesome.
bro.
Well, thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
taking the time with me today.
No problem, Rich. No
Get
problem.
back together here in a couple months or something. Let's see
Yes,
how
sir.
things been going. And,
Yes, sir. Definitely, dude.
It's going to be a wild ramp up to this election, so I'm sure we'll
Yes,
be in touch and
yes.
talk about it.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure you'll see me in a couple of those big election things. Especially if my boy DeSantis is gonna be winning this one, man. You'll see me up there with him, bro.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Right on, Joey.
Thank you so much.
Hey, of course, brother. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.